Hey everybody, this video is meant to be a refresher for those of you who have kind of had a little bit of time between your 1302 or your Composition 2 class and now. What is literary analysis? It is a scholarly examination that reduces selected poetry or prose to the fundamental elements of literature and then presents a detailed argument explaining how those elements create meaning within the piece. So it's real simple. You take a piece of literature, you do a close reading. That's a really deep, analytical, you're really going to scrutinize this literature very closely. That's a close reading. You take it, you break it down into its basic elements, its fundamental parts. Those will be the elements of literature, as you see here on my wheels: poetry, prose, and figures of speech. Everything around those wheels is considered an element of literature. So you break the piece down into those parts, and then you show in an essay how those parts create the meaning that you received when you read it. Okay, a meaning. First of all, I use the terms theme and meaning interchangeably, and central idea sometimes. Theme, meaning, and central idea, same thing. So the theme or the meaning of a piece can be not just an idea. It doesn't have to be just a philosophy. It can be an emotion, an image, a question, a sensation, a feeling. It could be a lot of things. Anything that you receive or anything you think that the author may have intended to transmit from this piece. Okay. The word language refers to it's like a catch-all term for any element of literature, anything around those wheels. Let's see here. So when you do a literary analysis, analyze, never summarize. Assume your reader is well-informed. You do not have to rehash the surface details and retell the story, okay? All right. So what I would do, I would take those wheels that I have and I would go around them. And I would define in your notes, I would define each of those terms and make sure you understand it, because those terms are really going to be the ammunition and the building blocks of most everything that we do in this class. I'm grading your essay right now. Bam! I'll open it up. And first thing I'll be able to see is your format. What format do you have to use? You have to use the format that is found right here. Okay, so I'm going to open this in a new tab right here. So, general format right there. So it is Times New Roman 12-point font. It's all here for you. And you can look through this. It even has an example here for you. You have your header. Make sure your header is in the same font as the rest of the paper. I can try to make this a little better if you can see that. Make sure your header, and it has it in gray here. I don't want it in gray. Same color, black. You have your last name and the page number. So for me, it'd be Shanafelt 1, and then the next one Shanafelt 2, Shanafelt 3. Okay. Just call me Professor Shanafelt here. This is your heading, header. Over here, this is Professor Shanafelt. This is your name, full name, whatever you go by or whatever is in the course roster. I don't care, whatever I know you as. And then this is our class, Composition 1. You can put English 1301, whatever. I'm just something to identify the class. And then this is the date, and you need to get it in this format. It'll be whatever date you put on there. It could be either the date that you finished writing it or the date that it's due. If you put the date that it's due, it is 5 May 2020. All right? And then you don't ever skip an extra line. See this? You don't ever skip an extra line. You don't ever skip an extra line. It's just the entire essay is double-spaced. The entire essay is double-spaced, including your works cited. Everything is double-spaced. When I say double space here, I don't mean like somehow hit return twice. I mean, it's just the entire thing is double spaced. All right. Single spaced, this line would be up right against this line. This is all double spaced, the heading, everything. Make sure this font and this font agree. Make sure this font and this font agree. Here's your title. Right after you do your date, hit return one time, and you type your title. Make it fun, make it catchy, make it something I'll remember. If you say literary analysis essay, I'm already gagging and going, ugh. I have to read a literary analysis essay. But if you title it something crazy like Why the World Came to an End, I don't know, make it up. I can't write it for you. So give me a catchy title, something that'll catch my eye, something that'll pique my interest. And then you have your introduction, and we've talked about this, the paragraph development. I'll go over it more in a second. But you have your introduction. Your thesis is the last sentence in your introductory paragraph. The thesis is your last sentence in your introductory paragraph. The thesis is your last sentence in your introductory paragraph. What is a thesis? A thesis is your essay in miniature. Everything you talk about in your essay should be summed up in your thesis, and it should be so comprehensive that you could take the thesis out of the paper and read it in isolation and still know everything it's about. Everything your paper is about. So that means you have to get the name of the author into your thesis, the name of the work into your thesis. You have to get the meaning of the work into your thesis, and the 3 or 4 overall criteria you are going to use to analyze the meaning. You know, if he uses it's about mermaids fighting with laser swords and how that's a danger to our society, and the way he develops that meaning is through symbolism, through word syntax, and through imagery. So now you have syntax, imagery, symbolism. Those are 3 paragraphs. Those are the 3 things you're going to use to analyze this piece, and there you go. You have to have all of that in your thesis, and then, okay, here comes symbolism, boom, 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 boom. Here comes syntax, boom, 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 boom. Here comes da-da-da. Okay, good. Now, this is your format. That's the first thing, going back to what I was saying. When I open up your paper, the first thing I want to be able to see is format, because it's just simple. I just see it. Boom. Look at it. Dang. Okay. You can't get an A without getting the format right. You just can't. I mean, I'm not grading you. I can't say, like, oh, your ideas were so much more brilliant than this person's. Nah, come on. You got to get the minute details of the assignment right, and then I go on to your ideas. So this is the format. Times New Roman, 12-point font, double space the entire essay. Nothing is bolded. There's no reason to bold anything. Make sure you treat titles appropriately. For short stories and poems, they're in quotes. For novels and larger works, they are italicized. Now you can see here this writer has used in-text citations. You will need both in-text citations and a works cited page with your MLA entries on it. All right? And we've been over that a lot. Now, you can look here, and this is the OWL at Purdue, of course. And you can look here, and this is where you find the format. That's what I'll look at first. What I'll look at second is your MLA. I will make sure you have a works cited page. I'll go to the works cited page. Here's one right here. Here's a sample works cited page. Boom. Let's just go back. Let's go back one. Let's go back one. Shazam! Okay, I'm going to go to the sample research paper. I just saw it here. Sample paper. All right, good. Now, all this nonsense right here is from, it's just all the blocks. It's just telling you what is there. You're not going to turn anything with blue and green blocks of text on it, okay? So you're going to go down. First thing I'm going to see is your format. Then I'm going to go to the end, and I'm going to look at your works cited. And there it is. See the works cited? Yep, boom, 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 boom. It's all there. I'm going to look at make sure that these are in alphabetical order, according to the last name. your sources have to come from? Jstor. All right, here you are on the library, in our ACC library, and you're on the articles A to Z page. Just go to J, Shazam, and then there it is. This is Jstor. You're gonna sign in with your credentials, and there you go. And we talked about in class how to search Jstor. I usually go to the academic search. Now, keep in mind, you're not looking for articles that describe your exact topic. That they're not going to exist, because you're writing about something unique and new and different. I mean, it wouldn't be an interesting assignment if there were papers on Jstor that analyzed exactly what you're analyzing. So you're going to find other articles. You're going to choose articles right here. Not pamphlets, not research reports, not miscellaneous. And you're going to choose books. Those two things, books and articles, are fine. You can choose your area. Usually for us it is language and literature. All right? And then language and literature, and then you go on with your bad self and search. All right, great. So let's go back to this. First thing I look at is the format. Second thing I look at is your MLA. I look at your works cited, make sure everything's from Jstor, from peer-reviewed journal articles only. And then I go up to your paper and I make sure that you have your in-text citations, like this one right here. Can you be quiet down here? Okay. Make sure you have it like that, and I go through like that, and only after I do all that stuff do I start reading your paper. Fine, great. So that means if you have significant errors with your MLA or your format, you can't get an A. All right, so attend to those details, because it's just too doggone easy for me to find errors there. Don't let yourself get counted off for stuff that is easy to fix. Now I want to call your attention to one thing. Look at this. I'm using this as an example. Well, it's a bad example because look at that guy right there. Bam! Shazam! This author is using personal pronouns. What did I say? I said, the very first thing I said over here, and it's one of the hardest things I teach, do not use personal pronouns such as me, I, we, you, and us. When you do that, it makes the paper about you. And the paper is not about you. You don't appear as a character in this paper. Okay? Also, do not reference your own paper. In this paper, I will talk. No. Or don't even say, this paper will discuss. And then I almost slipped up there. Don't say talks about. Talks about. That's too sophomoric. We're in a very high level literature class. I mean, you're halfway to a bachelor's degree, right? So you can't say talks about. You have to say analyzes, posits, puts forward, hypothesizes. These kind of words are much better than the construction talks about. I'm talking about your paper right now, but anyone of merit analyzes. All right, don't use contractions. It's, can't, won't, just don't do it. In fact, when you proofread your paper, just go through searching for apostrophes. And if you find any, get rid of those contractions. It's too informal. Don't use slang. You guys got to raise the bar here. This is above board. All those idioms, kick them out of your mind. They definitely have no place in your essays. Spell out all numbers, 0 to 100. So it'd be 99 with a hyphen. All right. Now, if you're gonna quote a word as like the word justice, well, you italicize that because you're quoting it a word as a word. When you say, the word justice? Well, no one is saying that. But you're not quoting anybody. You're quoting it as a word, so you can italicize that. Thesis is the last sentence of your introductory paragraph. The thesis should explain the context of your essay, make a claim, be debatable. That's where a paper becomes an analysis, because a thesis in a referential paper or a paper that's just informative doesn't make a claim. It just says, The Great Gatsby is about a guy who's trying to get his lost love back, period. Well, that's boring. Make a claim. F. Scott Fitzgerald proposes the idea that the American dream is dead in The Great Gatsby. And he does it by using intense characters, imagery, and symbolism. There you go. There's your thesis. That shows up as an analysis. You're going to have to prove that the book, The Great Gatsby, is about the death of the American dream. And there's the analysis. Develop your paragraphs. Each paragraph needs to have an outstanding topic sentence that tells me exactly what this paragraph is going to cover. And then at least 3 pieces of evidence. That's evidence from the text and also evidence from your source is. All right. Weave your quotations. No quotations over 2 lines. No quotations over 2 lines. No long quotations. Weave your quotations into the natural flow of your language. All quotations need to be introduced and then explained. So never start a sentence or a paragraph, or certainly not an essay, with a quotation mark. All right. A sentence should never begin with a quotation mark. Okay, good. You need your in-text citations. Here's some examples here. You guys, this is a incredibly valuable document for you. This, what I've made here, this my writing guide. Go through it and look at back over. I mean, at least just the parts that are very appropriate to this, to your literary analysis. This guide is really your difference between an A and, just a score. Okay? Don't say, I think, I feel, some people believe. Nah, you're going to have to find that study, find that actual data, and cite it from there. And also, you don't use the word I. Okay, good. Here's your format right here. Okay, good. All right. This is the actual format. This is, Times New Roman, blah, 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 blah. Okay, you're going to use all Jstor. In the rare case, and I caution you for this, in the rare case that there's nothing on Jstor, well, then you can perhaps use Academic Search Complete. Don't do it. Use Jstor. But if you just have to, make sure you click these scholarly peer-reviewed journals right here. All right? Good. Now, sources, no websites, no .com, .org, none of that stuff. You don't need that. This is a literary analysis essay, right? Okay, here is a good run-through of what your thesis should be like. It's with some examples, okay? Here's a whole bunch of really relevant stuff about how to use quotations. Excellent. You should look at this, I'm telling you. Here's paragraph development. Look, here's a crappy paragraph, and here's a good paragraph. And it's illustrated for you, all the different parts. So you have right here, you have the topic sentence, and then you have the first piece of evidence. This is the analysis, evidence, analysis, evidence, analysis. You see, look at that. Look at that. Go check it out. I wanted to spend a little more time on paragraph development. I think it's a really big deal. It's one of the things that my students generally have a little bit of trouble with. I mean, I see a lot of really poorly and undernourished paragraphs. I see a lot of paragraphs that are, 150 words long. I see a lot of paragraphs that don't provide much evidence or analysis at all. I mean, I see a lot of paragraphs that basically just retell the plot or the story of whatever piece of literature we're analyzing. That's no good. So let's look at this. What is paragraph development? It is the way you build a paragraph. It is the different pieces and elements that you put into the paragraph and how many of each. And I'm going to give you a template right now. And I know people hate templates, but this is for academic scholarly writing. And when you go off and you do your creative writing, when you write to your friends, when you do other types of writing, you certainly don't worry about any templates. You want to be free and loose, and you want to do whatever comes to your heart. But in the case of academic writing, you want to provide a solid argument. And that's what this template does. It is the roadmap to a solid argument. And so that's why I say let's look at paragraph development. This is one thing that I really do count students off for a lot on their essays, because if you don't do this, you haven't adequately answered the prompt. You haven't adequately persuaded me that the analysis you're providing is valid, on the up and up, is thorough. Okay, good. Let's do it. Each paragraph, what are the elements? All right, there's 3 basic elements that go into a paragraph. 1, the topic sentence. The topic sentence is the first sentence of the paragraph. It always is. It's a controlling statement. It's comprehensive. In the topic sentence, you tell your reader everything you're going to cover in the forthcoming paragraph. You do it in miniature. If you're going to say that Colonel Mustard killed Professor Green, you say it. If that's what you're going to argue and you're going to prove that, you say it in your topic sentence. Colonel Mustard killed Professor Green in the kitchen with the pipe. But don't just stop there. You briefly list the evidence you're going to use to prove it. Colonel Mustard killed Professor Green in the kitchen with the pipe, as evidenced by eyewitness testimony, DNA evidence, his own confession, and fingerprints at the scene. So that was 4 pieces of evidence. All right, so that's all in your topic sentence. Topic sentences can go kind of long, but what you want, your goal, is for someone to be able to read your thesis and then read each of your topic sentences and get a pretty clear, pretty definitive, pretty comprehensive understanding of your argument, of the argument that you're making in your paper. So your topic sentences are important. Usually a topic sentence makes a claim. Well, what's a claim? All right, so you're going to you are going to determine what the meaning of a piece is, and then you're going to argue that these elements of literature create that meaning. They build that meaning. So that's the claim. Oh, this image here, this Christ-like figure that I see here on line 59, that installs into the reader's mind a really spiritual tone and sense of forlornness, a despondent tone. And I don't know, I'm just making all that up off the top of my head. But you would use that image to develop your claim, to back up your claim as to what the piece means. And that is the evidence. So you have topic sentence, you have evidence. Each paragraph should have at least 3 pieces of evidence. You can see from my document here that you can download this, and it's also posted in our online course. You have the topic sentence first. You have at least 3 pieces of evidence. And following each piece of evidence, now evidence could be a direct quotation, it could be a paraphrase, it could be a detail, it can be a lot of things. And if you're working with outside sources from your peer-reviewed journal articles, it could be a statistic, it could be a meta-study, it could be an expert opinion, it could be so many things. But in the world of literary analysis, evidence is direct quotations, paraphrases, and details that come from the primary literature itself. That's what I'm talking about mostly. After each piece of evidence, you want to provide at least, I would say, 2 or 3 sentences of scholarly analysis. Analysis is argumentative sentences that explain how the quote, paraphrase, or detail you have cited proves the claim you make in your topic sentence. An essay is like a skeleton structure. You have the main, like the spinal cord is the thesis. That makes your main argument and divulges to the reader everything that your essay is going to cover and prove. From there, you have the topic sentences, and they're like your arms and legs, I guess, maybe your ribs, I don't know, but they are some of the main bones of your essay. You have the thesis and then the topic sentence, and then after that, you have the evidence and the analysis. The analysis proves how this piece of evidence aids or proves or backs up or reinforces the claim that you make in your thesis. So you have a claim in your thesis and you have a claim in your topic sentences. Okay, so I have here a template for you. This is the very minimum that I'd like to see in your essays. This one right here is the minimum. It is comprised of a topic sentence, 3 pieces of evidence, and after each piece of evidence, 2 sentences of analysis. I mean, that's okay if you're shooting for just a mediocre kind of a B or something, but if you really want to go above and beyond, if you want to make an A, if you want to excel, if you want to write a persuasive argument, then this is your template right here for each paragraph. Topic sentence, 4 pieces of evidence, and 3 sentences of analysis after each piece of evidence. All right, what does that look like? Hey, check it out. In this document, I have several, I think about 6 paragraphs that I've written for you, and you should be able to see from these what is a well-developed paragraph and what is a not so well-developed paragraph. Case in point, right here, we have this, the example number 3, this first rendering of it. That is very, very undernourished. The amount of evidence there and the amount of analysis there is not adequate for our level of academics. So let's find out how many words that is. 90 words. Okay, 90 words, you can't do much with 90 words. I can see you have 1 piece of evidence here that's cited with MLA. And then after that, you may have a little bit of analysis, but that is really it. This is a poorly developed paragraph. Now, just following that, I have a well-developed paragraph. It's on the same sonnet, same primary piece, but here it is. Now, you can read this, just normal prose, but go down one. Here I have it illustrated. I show you with the illustrations, I show you like in the red here, that's your topic sentence. And all the blue portions are evidence. And then the green is the analysis. And that just makes it easy to see all the different little portions. And by the way, when I grade your essays, especially nowadays when we're online and we use the turnitin.com or what is it, Safe Assign. It depends on where I'm teaching. But when I do, I can just hit one button and it highlights in each of your paragraphs your quotes, your evidence, basically. So it's really amazing. It shows your paragraphs to me pretty much like this. I can see how many pieces of evidence you've used. And so here it is. The blue, let's count these blues. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So in this paragraph, I have included 5 pieces of evidence from the sonnet. And some of them, like here's a direct quotation. These I'm quoting words from various lines. And this one, yeah, here's some more words, but also kind of just summing up the main idea of the poem. And then we have more words quoted there, but also just translating the details of the poem. And then so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different pieces of evidence, and then we have ample analysis. And again, the analysis is there to argue and prove how this piece of evidence proves or supports the claim you make in your topic sentence, which in turn proves or supports the claim you make in your thesis. On your works cited, you're going to have to reverse indent. It looks like this. See that? Reverse indent. Here's a run through on what in-text citations entail. And here's abbreviations. Okay, so I really want you to take a look at this very closely. Look, I've done a lot of your work for you. Now this needs to be double spaced, but I did it to save trees right here, okay? Yours needs to be double spaced. But here's a Jstor article with a DOI, with a document object identifier. Look at that. Yep. Here's a Jstor article with stable link. Wonderful, wonderful. Now you may go to Jstor, and this is part of the reason I like Jstor. Let me just, I don't know. Okay, the Raven. Yeah, Lysistrata. Okay. Lysistrata is this hilarious Greek play. It's pretty funny. But anyway, so let's just go to this journal article right here. Okay, this is what I'm trying to show you. It'll show you. I could show you this inside the article, but I can also show it to you over here. But let's go inside the article. Now, here is the article itself. Hallelujah. There it is. So this is what you're going to study and draw from as one of your sources. You want to cite it. Go here. Bam. I love me some Jstor. All right, so you're going to go to MLA. Shazam. There it is. There is your citation. However, there are some things you're going to need to fix with this. They don't have it. It's not perfect. You need to fix the page number format. It's supposed to be 119-24. Whatever. Make sure when you go and paste it that you paste and retain the style. You're going to have to change it to the right format on your paper, but you have to retain the italics. You have to retain the italics. A lot of these Jstor entries have all caps for the names of the articles. Remove those. And there's several. You really have to go over this. It is up to you. It's incumbent upon you to make it right. Okay, I believe that's it. If you have any questions, please contact me. And keep in mind, this stuff is important. Going down from here on page 11, there's a sample works cited right there. Bam. Yep. If you have two authors who are the same name, then you do it like this, and you put them in order of the first letter of the title. Anyway, after about page 11, that stuff's important, but it's not vital. This stuff in the beginning, that is vital. All that's the difference between an A and a grade. Okay? So, I love you all, and peace out.